culture of small town, rural Oregon. Things like swimming in the river and sliding down waterfalls in the creek were a way of life for a kid there. Well, in middle high, he met and bonded with a group of friends that he remained close to for the rest of his life. They were collectively known as the Entourage. Mark graduated from Riddle High School in 1977. He went on to attend Southern Oregon State College, followed by medical school in Oregon Health Sciences University in Portland. He completed his MD degree in 1993. In the midst of all this intense schooling, he married Jennifer A. Pintock on December 28, 1985. He went on to complete a residency in family practice medicine at Toledo Hospital in Ohio in the years 1993 to 1996. Mark worked in Fort Radio? Gratiot. Okay, fine. Michigan. For the next 10 years with a family practice medical group. In November 2006, Mark and Jennifer relocated to the Yakima area. Mark worked at a hospitalist in Yakima Regional Hospital until 2010. In that year, he started the family practice medical clinic, Northwest Medicine, in which he would work until just a few weeks before his death. Dr. Joy had over 4,000 patients and was loved by them all and by his employees. He was an exceptional physician with a brilliant mind and a kind, compassionate spirit. Mark loved golf, football, fine art, games, and especially reading. He was a voracious reader and took delight in recommending and sharing books with friends. He loved to travel with Jennifer. He had a wonderful, quirky sense of humor. He had a deadpan delivery. He once told Jennifer that if somehow she was shrunk down to 5 inches tall, she would have a very different relationship with cats than with her dogs. His quirky last sense of humor was intact until virtually the very end of life, as he told tales that confused the nurses in the hospital. Mark was survived by his wife Jennifer of 38 years, his 4 sisters and their significant others, Donna Joy of Myrtle Creek, Kathy Joy of Missoula, Montana, Vicki Joy of Dayton, Nevada, Jamie Peters of Winston, Oregon, and 14 nieces and nephews. He was preceded in death by his mother, Joy Wade, father, Walter Joy, and grandmother, Emma Gillette. Dr. Mark Joy was an extraordinary being. A unique and delightful man who was loved by virtually everyone he ever met. In a few minutes, I'm going to invite people to come and take the mic. I will ask you to take the mic. I know we're mic shy, but just so we can hear. So you think of the stories, and my guess is some will be serious, but most will be funny because that was Mark. Serious mostly, sometimes funny, always. This morning in bed, I was just picked up my phone and just wrote down a few things I was thinking about. I just wrote down some single words when I think of Mark. See if you recognize these characters. Curious. Above all, Mark was curious. About everything. Sincere. Faithful. Diligent. Intelligent. Quirky. Third time I said that word. Quiet. Creative. Quick-witted. Conscientious. Hilarious. He knew how to love and be loved. In the end, in thinking of this character, he didn't blame anybody for his disease process. He didn't feel sorry for himself. He continued to love to the very end. I have confidence, based on all the conversations we've had over the last several years about God and eternity, that we are going to see Mark again. So, nothing in a somber stuff. I'm going to say 2 things, and I'm going to turn to 2 little quirky stories. Quirky again. And so, I mentioned the entourage. So the entourage was Mark and my brothers, Tim and Tom, who were twins. Johnson, my name is Marvin Johnson, by the way. And Drew Matthews and Randy. Randy Gunn, why did Randy Gunn know forever? But anyway, so they basically, we were in middle school, and they probably a little before that, they started hanging out, and to the very end, they were doing stuff. My brother Tom passed away in maybe 1990. somehow I got grafted onto the entourage, and even though I was the older brother, you know, and so I kind of became the older brother to the guys, and we got together and just did stuff. And but the one thing that was a given when those guys got together, when we got together, was you were going to laugh almost continuously as long as you were together about something. It generally would be something that nobody else outside the group would even comprehend why we were laughing. But so we met out at one, it was probably a couple of years ago, I don't remember. But we met out Taft, Oregon, which is just south of Lincoln City, Oregon, on the coast. And I don't remember what we were doing, just hanging out. And we ended up somehow wandering into, there was like a sort of a drag festival going on in the side street there. And so us guys were wandering through, kind of a little bewildered, you know. And there was a guy that a person wearing like a white prom dress and had a white boa constrictor that was probably about 8 feet long, wrapped around his shoulders. And there was people gathering around wanting to pet the snake. And here's Mark. He turned and said, "Isn't it wonderful how snakes bring people together?" we went from there to a little pub on the corner, a pub or tavern, and to have a beer. And we were sitting there by the window and just outside this Highway 101 going by, and a group of probably a dozen or so guys on little Vespa motor scooters went by, and Mark just turned and said, "Born to raise heck." So I would invite anybody who wants to come up and we'll have something to say. There's got to be some. Who's got to be first? Bob's first.
Come on, Entourage.
Brian's got something to say. Brian's always got something to say. Maybe about 15 years.
Yes.
Hold your mic up to your mouth.
Can you hear me?
No.
Louder.
Louder?
Louder, yes.
Is that all right?
Yes.
All right. So anyway, I was sitting up at that bar, and I was thinking about some story I wanted to tell everybody. I couldn't really remember, but there's just so many. I don't know where to begin or where to finish. And it just popped into my head, these weird things that you would do where we get caught up in. We caught his deck on fire. And sorry, Jennifer, about that one. We're not going to flames in the whole thing, okay? So, like I said, we met him about 15 years ago. It felt like somebody I met my whole life. That person that you just can't not help but like him. I want to hang out with him. I really liked hanging out with that guy. I know for a fact he was always the smartest guy in the room. He loved his family, loved his friends. He loved being a doctor. He really did. And he really cared about people. He wanted to be with them and hang out and make them better. And he studied medicine. I always admired that. He was so driven.
How much hearing loss?
And this is gonna
How
be
much
difficult.
hearing loss?
So I had this like rapier wit and charm, this dry sense of humor. And I'm going to tell you the story at the very end here. That when he pulled off. So I've been over to Seattle. I took him over. I'm bringing him back. This is more joy, humor. He's very sick. He's bringing him back in the truck, got a lifted truck. And I get him home in the driveway. And I open up the truck door, and he says, "I'm dizzy." He didn't look good. He just looked terrible. So I said, "Come here." So I said, "Wrap your arms around me." So I lift him up, he's very dizzy, and I look over on my right shoulder, and he's laughing. And this guy just got out of surgery, man. So I look, I go, "What? What?" Like that, he goes, "You've been waiting for years to get me like this." I yelled at him, "Knock it off, man." Moves him around. And he starts laughing even harder. He goes, "Well, I'm curiously aroused right now." And I said, "Somebody give me a chair. Somebody give me a chair." And that's what for Mark. Brave and strong, right to the end. And always carried that charm, yet with him.
And he's my friend.
I kind of go on, how he just dealt with whatever came along. It was amazing in the end. And he sent me a text and said that he had a brain tumor. He sent me the MRI, and I looked at the MRI and I went, oh, shit. And then he said, I said, well, I'm gonna come up. He said, well, yeah, would you come up? I'll get Brian and Randy's gonna come up, and we'll get together. We'll go drink some beer and play some pool. And I said, oh yeah, I suppose you're gonna use if I beat you at pool, you're gonna go, oh yeah, but I got a brain tumor. You don't get to use that excuse. He goes, are you kidding? I'm working that to the very end. And he did it. Who else? Drew's gonna say, whatever it is.
So I don't know how well I'm going to do at this because Mark was my life. From fifth grade, sixth grade, we spent so much time together. And he was one of the best people I ever met by far. But we did so much together. And he had a great sense of humor. Great sense of humor. And he could handle the best of us. But I'm going to tell you a stupid joke. He had, well, I'll tell you what he had. So there's these two horses in the pasture, and the farmer comes up and lets a horse out at the other side, and these two horses are talking. And this horse, and the farmer comes up, lets this horse out, and goes to the other end of the pasture. So one of the first two horses runs over, kicks the other pinto, the other horse in the ass, and then blows up. Comes back and tells the other horse, "Told you it was a pinto." so he drove a black pinto, and that was our car all through high school. So anyway, every time I think of Mark, that's one of the things I think about. The funny thing about pintos was they had very bad things. Mark's brother Tim drove the pinto, and he had a parked at a gas station, big box of tools in the back and everything. Somebody broke it into it. They stole all of the window winders because Mark's pinto had all of that. Didn't steal the stereo that was sitting there. Didn't steal. The only thing they stole was all of the window winders. So it's just funny. I spent many years backpacking with Mark. We went to the Olympics and the Wallowas. He was my hiking buddy. Every year for many years we did. So, but I loved his family too, all of his sisters. And it was such a nice family. So, I'm going to miss him very much.